Welcome to the podcast. Go. Wait, I think you have to say your name first.
No,
Yes.
you say welcome to the podcast. I'm Lizzie and I'm John.
But then it's the reverse order.
All right, fine. Welcome to the podcast. I'm John.
No, I was going to say welcome to the
All right.
podcast. Welcome to the podcast.
I'm John.
And I'm Lizzie.
And this is Harry Potter and the First Time Reader.
Good.
Wow.
It's different every
Lizzie
time.
is taking over the podcast, everyone. She's making me... I am here against my will.
make the rules.
She makes
I wear
me
the
read all
pants in
stuff.
this podcast.
You do. Okay, chapter 26. We are into 3 of my favorite chapters in the entire series. Or maybe not, I've said this before, but maybe not my 3 favorite, but the 3 that I remember maybe the most when I was reading the series for the first time.
Yeah.
Because they were just, like I was gripping my freaking chair when I was reading it. It was so good.
I remembered it a little bit. Like we had that moment
Yeah.
off podcast when I was like, I remember like underground and there's water.
Yep.
Like that's the cave. So yeah. I don't know why I didn't put that together that like a Horcrux would be in the cave, but there it is.
I know. It was fun to
Makes
see you piece that
sense.
together because it was, again, like the synapses were firing, but they finally landed on something. So I didn't want to say, but it was the next chapter when we were in the cave.
Yeah.
But before that, let's talk about 25, which is the seer overheard. So can you give me a very quick summary of this chapter?
Basically Trelawney is outside of the room of requirement and Harry bumps into her and she says that she heard somebody yelling in there and he's like Harry's puts it together that Malfoy is like solved his problem, fixed whatever he was trying to fix, and then he runs to Dumbledore and then Dumbledore's like, oh, we're actually gonna go find the Horcrux.
Yeah.
So
But there also is another issue in this chapter when he learns who overheard Trelawney.
Oh yeah.
And that's why he was marching off Dumbledore's office, because he
Snape.
was furious. And Dumbledore's just like, relax. We have an assignment tonight. You have to be focused. So he tables that whole discussion.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a really important discussion.
That's wild.
I know.
I feel like he could have given him some time
Yeah.
to sit there and talk it through.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, is Snape the reason then that this whole prophecy is being fulfilled? Like, because Snape
Probably, yeah.
put Voldemort onto the idea.
Honestly, like that's a fascinating question. It's like the fate question, because would Trelawney have given the prophecy had Snape not been outside the door hearing the prophecy? I don't know.
I guess so.
But if she did, then would it have really had any significance? Because Voldemort and his followers probably wouldn't have known about anything and would have just continued on their way.
But wouldn't she just give the prophecy and then it just, like, die in the vault thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
So, like, if Snape wasn't around to hear it, it's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a noise.
No one knows.
I know, no one knows. Because if Dumbledore heard that, he's probably not going to blab about it. You might just go lock it up and, like, that prophecy doesn't come to fruition. Maybe it does in some indirect way. I don't know.
But, like, I think it wouldn't even... Dumbledore would be interested in it, but he wouldn't know that it was going to be Neville or Harry. That's, like, kind of random at that point of, like, giving the prophecy.
Yeah.
And then, also, didn't she say that... Or somebody said Snape only heard the first part of the prophecy and not the last part? And isn't the last part where it's, like...
That's the important
one
part.
can't live?
Yeah, neither can live, all the other survives. And that's
So
what
what's the first part of it again?
the one who approaches the Dark Lord, or the one who approaches has the power to vanquish the Dark Lord, and he shall have power as the Dark Lord knows not. And the Dark Lord will mark him as his equal. We'll talk about that in a second.
I love that you just know that off the top of your head. That's crazy.
Again, I read this numerous times, so
That was like a whole paragraph.
No, it was like 3 sentences. I don't even think we have the rest of the prophecy in this chapter. I might be wrong about that.
No,
I'll read my notes.
that's why I needed her
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Okay, in the beginning though, in this chapter, Harry talks about how He says Harry found himself newly and happily impervious to gossip over the next few weeks. After all, it had made a very nice change to be talked about because of something that was making him happier than he could remember being for a very long time, rather than because he had been involved in a horrific scene of dark magic. So he's happy because he's dating Ginny. What's the happiest that you've been in recent memory?
I don't know. Like extremely happy or like mundanely happy? Like I got a lemonade today and I was like, this is so perfect
Sometimes,
right now.
Yeah, I love that.
But I don't know.
That's a great answer. Sometimes just like little simple lemonade hits.
I love lemonade. I'm a lemonade girl.
Mm.
I feel like I haven't done many exciting things recently.
Yeah, it's all right.
I was happy to go watch Lord of the Rings.
That was fun. That was such a fun one. Yeah, I'm with you actually. Maybe in recent memory. I was trying to think about this too, and I was like, I hope she doesn't ask me this question because I'm like, I don't really have like a super, super happy memory in recent weeks.
Hawaii
where it's like
was
overjoyed.
Fun.
Yeah,
That
he
was really
Hawaii.
fun.
That was pretty dope. Because there's like, there's mundane happy, there's like happy in day-to-day random situations. And then there's like your heart wants to explode kind of happiness that Harry is experiencing here. And I don't remember the last time I experienced that.
Yeah, my heart hasn't exploded recently.
We need more of that. We need more heart exploding happiness in this room right now.
It's kind of tragic.
No, it's all right. Okay, so there's a few other things. There is one. Okay, so they have a discussion about who the Half-Blood Prince is. And before we do anything else, I just want to ask you who you think the Half-Blood Prince is.
I'm sticking with Snape.
You're sticking with Snape?
I'm not. This girl that Hermione's suggesting, I was like, absolutely not. This
Really?
is so dumb. Yeah.
He's your leading candidate.
Yeah.
Even though with Draco, he didn't really realize what Harry was doing.
What do you mean?
Because he like shouldn't have. If Snape knows that Harry has his book, which is the Half-Blood Prince's book, why did Snape not like reveal that and be like, give me the book that I left in the potions classroom right now? Like, why do you think you can get away with this? Maybe
because he knew that Dumbledore was gonna die in a few days, and then he could just like kill Harry later or something. I don't know. I feel like he was preoccupied with other things. Maybe. It just there's so many little hints that are pointing to it being Snape. Like, especially the fact that he gives it's like, give me your potions book. Like that to me, I was like, why would he know that?
Okay, all right. Maybe. We'll see soon.
Because it's like he's the only one that would know it's in that book.
Yeah. Okay, adding on to that, there's another line that we have here where it says, the headmaster has intimated that he would prefer fewer visits from me, she said coldly. I'm not one to press my company upon those who do not value it. If Dumbledore chooses to ignore the warnings the cards show, her bony hand closed around Harry's wrist. Again and again, no matter how I lay them out. And she pulled a card dramatically from underneath her shawls. The lightning struck tower, she whispered. Calamity, disaster, coming nearer all the time.
So that was right.
That was right. She nailed it.
Yeah.
Is she a true seer? I don't want to keep revisiting this, but yes, the answer is yes.
I'll just go with it. Yeah. I mean, I thought that too. I was like, oh no, here we go. She's right again. It's gonna milk this.
So when she's actually giving the real prophecy, which is like the one to Dumbledore, what did you think about the reveal that Snape was the one listening at the door?
I was so surprised.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I didn't put it together as fast as Harry, like what that meant. I was like, no way, Snape's there. And then Harry was like, he's the reason my parents are dead.
Huh.
I didn't like put that together because I guess I just thought that like Voldemort would find out some other way and not just like have a direct report.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Why? Two other questions on Snape. Why would Dumbledore hire Snape? And then, Dumbledore talks about how this is like the biggest regret of Snape's life. Why is it a big regret of his life?
I kind of feel like for Snape, it would be like selfishly the biggest regret of his life. Like he hurt other people, but I feel like for his own sake, he's like, how could I do this to myself? Like, I'm in such a mess.
Okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
I feel like that's very Snape's ego.
Yeah, I can
would-
kind of see that
I
actually.
don't know. But I think, because, like, how could you get yourself in that situation where now you have to, like, serve the Dark Lord and you're kind of like Dumbledore's slave
Yeah.
and you're living in danger? So, wait, what did you ask me?
Why did Dumbledore hire Snape too in the first place? Like, if all this terrible stuff had happened, if he was listening at the door, why the heck would Snape be a teacher at Hogwarts?
He got hired after he overheard the prophecy, right?
Mhm.
But then he also hired Trelawney.
Yep. Why did he hire
Uh,
both of them?
He hired Trelawney because she's a true seer.
Yes.
And he knew that and he wanted that in Hogwarts. And then I guess I feel like he hired Snape to keep an eye on him
Okay.
or maybe like pull him back to the good side. Cause even at the tower, he was like trying to convince Draco, like, you don't have to do this. We can hide you. We can hide your mom.
Yep.
Like, we'll get your dad as soon as he's out of Azkaban. So I'm wondering if there was like some negotiation with Snape too, like immediately. Like, look, I just saw this. I know you're gonna go tell Voldemort. Like, I can cut you a deal. You can live at Hogwarts.
But there's no way that would have happened though, because then who would have told Voldemort all this? Because Voldemort knows half the prophecy.
Yeah, but I'm saying he told Voldemort and then
Oh.
Dumbledore just
And then after.
because Dumbledore's okay with stuff like that. I don't know.
All right.
But Dumbledore would also just be like, "Oh, it's written in the stars. Like it would have happened anyway. Like you, whether or not it was you, I don't know."
I don't know about that because Dumbledore himself doesn't really even believe in the prophecy.
In the prophecy,
He doesn't really take it as hard facts because the only reason he believes in the prophecy is because because Harry is the one that's going to take action for this. Like I think in the previous book or maybe on the one before, or I think in the previous one, they talk about how like he asked Harry if the prophecy matters and Harry's like, no, I'd still want to, kill Voldemort if the prophecy didn't even exist.
yeah.
And so I think for Dumbledore, it's like it doesn't even matter. It's like a moot point about the prophecy. It's like no, they just have to destroy Voldemort. So whether the prophecy is right or wrong, I think Dumbledore doesn't really care about that.
Okay.
Although there is another line that Dumbledore says. Actually, no, we'll skip over that because we kind of know the next chapter, which is the cave, we'll jump into that in a second. But were you surprised of Harry giving the Felix Felicis to other people on the end of the chapter?
I felt I saw that coming.
Yeah.
I guess I was surprised more at the fact that he was like sending them on this mission without really knowing what he was sending them to do, but then also they don't know it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's dangerous, especially seeing later that it's Death Eaters in the school.
Yep.
Like, I still don't know what happened to those people at this point. So I'm like, I hope none of them died. You know, like maybe the Dark Mark is
They
there
walked
for a
over
reason.
a dead body. I don't know.
Yeah. Like if somebody's lying in the stairwell, as soon as I read the next chapter, I'm going to be so mad. But I don't know. That felt really irresponsible, but they just blindly trusted him. But then that's exactly what Harry was doing to Dumbledore too.
Yeah, agreed.
So
yeah.
I was like, whatever.
That's why I kind of love this chapter because there is just blind trust in each other. Like they know what they're doing, or maybe they don't know what they're doing, but they still like have faith and have trust in each other. Like there's even the one section, which is, and we'll refresh back to this when we're in the cave chapter, but the line is, "No," said Hermione, as Ron unwrapped a tiny little bottle of golden potion, looking awestruck. "We don't want it. You take it. Who knows what you're going to be facing?" "I'll be fine. I'll be with Dumbledore," said Harry. I want to know that you lot are okay." "Don't look like that, Hermione. I'll see you later." Like,
yeah, that was a crazy goodbye.
I know, seriously, yeah. Like he knows, but he knows he's going to be with Dumbledore, so he's okay, which gets rehashed in the next chapter, which is what we'll do now. Go to right now because I want to refresh that line. Hold that in your memory. Give me a quick summary of the cave.
Dumbledore and Harry go to the cave that Voldemort tortured those two kids in a long time ago. And then they find this Horcrux at the bottom of a lake full of Inferi.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, in theory,
And
if
then
you're right,
Dumbledore drinks this potion thing and basically is like incapacitated.
yeah.
And then he is saved by Harry.
Okay, what are your general impressions on this chapter?
Like Dumbledore had definitely been to the cave before and figured it all out, and then came back and got Harry.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Whoa.
like pretty sure, because he's like, oh, this is where it is. This feels right.
So
And he's
hold
like,
on.
oh, looks like we have to drink it. It's like, lucky I have another person to carry me home.
Did you think that he drank it before this?
No, I was like
Like,
I
he got
don't
up
think
to the
this is
point of
right,
drinking?
but I feel like he stuck his hand in it and it like destroyed his hand.
Oh, whoa. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't like now they can't even touch it. So I'm assuming the magic is constant. Like every visit is the same. But I think he probably got far enough in his mind where like he could get the boat because the potion is after the boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he probably got to the little island and was like, oh dang, I need somebody else to help me. You gotta drink it. And then he made this whole plan because I'm convinced that Snape knew that he was going there with Harry. Because he was like, we need Snape, we need Severus. He's gonna save us. He has a potion for me. So I'm convinced that Snape was in on this from the beginning, like twiddling his thumbs, waiting for them to come back so that he could give Dumbledore some like antidote thing. And that's why I was so freaking shocked when he runs up the stairs
And kills him.
and kills him. I was like screaming. I was like, what is happening? So I don't know where the murdering Dumbledore comes in this plan. I'm hoping that they both decided like the Phoenix will save
You still think this
Dumbledore.
is part of his plan? And that he
I don't
just
know.
didn't murder him in cold blood?
I just feel like I am in the denial stage of grief. And I'm like, well, maybe Dumbledore did make a Horcrux. Maybe Dumbledore's not dead. Maybe the Phoenix is gonna come save him and like, you know, like swoop up and
Maybe.
beautiful. I don't know. I'm very much in denial that Dumbledore's gone. But
this is a wild take on this chapter.
I am so convinced, like I will die on this hill, that Dumbledore was in the cave before and that he told Snape everything.
So I mean, the two options are one, that he was in the cave before and he like took his time and figured all this out, or two, that he is just a beyond brilliant wizard that can sense magic. And we've never seen that
No.
before, so it somewhat makes sense that he went to the cave before and
Yeah.
scoped everything out and acted like he had never seen this before. So like he introduces Harry to all this.
I don't
'Cause-
feel like he was acting like he didn't see it before though.
I think he was.
Really?
When he's like looking around and he's like touching the wall in certain places and he's like, oh, this place contains known magic.
I just thought he was still like working through all the same spells. Like it resets every time. It's not like you just like leave the
Oh,
doors
so he's-
unlocked.
Okay, so he's just like trying to find.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an
like he
interesting
was like
interpretation of
rummaging
that.
around for the perfect place in the rock, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is where it was." And then he grabs the chain.
See, this is why this is so fascinating, because I'd never thought about that before. But now I'm curious how many people out there actually think that Dumbledore had been there before, and he was just guiding Harry through like his first time experience.
Because I think he did it, and then he could only get so far, and he was like, maybe he realized
Probably.
that somebody has to die, and Dumbledore would be the person that'd be like, "I'll drink the potion. I don't want to kill anybody."
So
So he doesn't want to take like McGonagall with him or something. And then at the same time, he's like preparing Harry. Because this is like a big coming of age moment, I think, for Harry.
Yes.
Because Dumbledore's like, you're a great wizard. You have it in you. And then he's fully relying on Harry to save him at the end of
Mhm.
this. And I don't know. That's just.
So
I feel.
there was a task to complete for this Horcrux. Did Dumbledore need another person to get the ring? And was that a solo task that he can complete completely by himself? And then he went to the cave thinking he could do it by himself, but he couldn't. So that's why he lumped in Harry. Or was the ring just like he actually needed another person? And is there another person
the ring?
who? Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, not the locket right now? You're just saying. Because the locket's at the bottom of the lake.
No, the locket's not at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, it is. That's just what they grabbed. Oh, the locket's in the cup.
Yeah. Wait. The locket's in what cup?
In the cup that Dumbledore just drank.
Oh, so yeah, there was like
right?
okay, so there's a basin and the locket was in the bottom and they had to drink all the liquid.
Yeah.
Um
The ring is gone.
yeah, the ring is gone.
So,
So-
are you saying in like previous Horcrux?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he probably did it alone. That's why he left Hogwarts all the time.
Interesting. Okay.
but different tasks require different things.
So is each Horcrux going to require some kind of task?
I mean, you got to get through the magic. That alone is a task.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm assuming you still have to destroy it, which another part of me is like, that's why Dumbledore can't be dead, because he still has the locket on him. He just got blown off this building.
What?
Right?
Wait, Dumbledore still has a locket on him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, now you're like making me think I read everything wrong.
No. So Dumbledore gets blown off this building, but you still think he's alive. That's the next chapter. We gotta do the cave because there's a lot that happens in the cave.
We are in the cave.
No. This is the next chapter when he gets blown off the lightning struck tower.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think he had it all planned out.
This is wild if he has this all planned out.
How would he not have it planned out? There's no way he's just like taking Harry into the unknown like that.
Okay, yeah. So I'm saying, let's say the cave part is planned. I can get behind that to some extent. That he Dumbledore, at least to some extent, has been maybe right outside the cave and knows where to go and knows what to do. He's found another spot and he wants Harry to go with him. So they go to this cave and then he has everything else planned out after that. When he gets back, maybe like you said, his plan was probably for Snape to have some kind of antidote ready.
Yeah.
But the plan doesn't go according to plan.
Yeah, because Rosmerta was imperious and then everything went to crap.
Everything went to crap. And I'm sure he wasn't expecting Draco to come up with all his Death Eater buddies.
No. Yeah, I think he was totally surprised by that. For sure.
So, oh man, so many questions for the next chapter too. I am actually legitimately shocked that you think he's been there before, because it's never been my read that has I don't know if I've ever encountered someone who thinks he's been there before.
Really?
Yeah, most people think that he just is an extraordinary wizard and he's showing off and he's being able to sense magic and but to be completely honest, it kind of makes more sense that he had been there before and had done every single step up until the basin, and all he's doing with Harry is showboating.
Yeah, because he's oh, tricky. He
Yeah.
needs blood.
Yeah.
I think he's using it as a teaching moment for
This
Harry.
is so fascinating.
It's a lot safer that way, and I don't know if he would bring Harry into so much danger so early on, because he still doesn't really understand what Horcruxes are. So I don't know, maybe now that Dumbledore's dead, Harry has to go do these Horcruxes by himself, but maybe the Phoenix is gonna come sing his little song. I don't know.
Let me ask this in the Discord real quick, because I actually want to see what people think about this.
I'm surprised that you're surprised.
This is why, again, I love people reading along, because I had never thought about this before. And I'm curious how many people actually think about this.
When I was reading this, I was laying down on a bench outside with Moose, and I just was no way, oh my gosh. And I was just making noise and gasping, and then Moose just comes down and puts his head on my chest.
Aww.
And I was thanks, buddy.
That is so cute.
He's are you okay?
I love that.
He's me a little comfort.
Let's see what people say. Fascinated now. I again, literally never thought of this.
Literally never thought of it. Now I have to ignore every notification for 4 days. Maybe
No.
I don't know.
Because this isn't spoilery stuff for you.
It's not going to be spoilery for the future?
No.
What if Dumbledore lives? Or dies? I don't know. It's fine. I'll
Mark
just
spoilers
ignore.
too, please.
Nice.
Just don't look at anything that's a spoiler. Dang.
I'm genuinely.
I'm shook.
I'm shook that you're shook.
It legitimately makes so much sense though. If I'm thinking about it, I don't know why I'd never thought about this before. that maybe Dumbledore had done every single task up until the other one because he realized he needed someone else with him.
And then he wouldn't put anyone else into like unknown danger.
Man,
to
you
drink
have
the thing.
you have a negative opinion of Dumbledore though.
What?
Not that it's negative, but like I
How's
just
that-
find it fascinating because everyone else that I know has read this and they're just in awe of Dumbledore. Like half of my questions are like, isn't Dumbledore so cool by just like knowing what to do and knowing exactly where to go?
But that doesn't make
And
it less cool. He's
for
already
sure,
done it.
But now I could think of but again, he's like showboating here. Like he's like looking for things and he's like talking about magic and he's acting like he's been
Yeah.
here for the first time before, at least in my head. Maybe not. But like I could imagine him sitting in this cave for like hours, maybe with like potions and other things, trying to figure out how to get into this cave. And then all of a sudden he like, trips and falls and gets a cut on his hand and the thing just like unravels because he accidentally like spilled blood on the entrance or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like this changes so much of the reading right now because when he goes back into this, he really is like showboating.
I have like a Lord of the Rings reference for this. I don't know if this is like a spoiler for Lord of the Rings, but when they are going, I don't even know what movie it is. It might be the third one.
Okay.
Or the first or the second. I don't know.
It's one of the three.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. But everybody's in that cave, and it's when Gollum's climbing up, and Frodo's like,
I wish
"Oh,
the ring
like
had
we're
never
being
come to me."
followed." And there's the 3 doors, and they're like waiting for Gandalf to figure out which door it is.
Always follow your nose.
But he's sitting there like he doesn't know which door it is.
Yeah.
And then after he talks to Gollum and explains Gollum to Frodo, then he's like, "Oh, it's this way." And he immediately knows. So I'm like, he obviously is just like waiting there so that he can explain Gollum to Frodo so that they can like be buddy for the rest of the movie and get to the end. Like I think that he was just buying time so that they could like have that conversation and explain it to him. And then he was like,
Dang, that's a cool take.
and then he was like, "Oh, okay, I remembered it's this way."
So he
But
was he was waiting for Frodo to be bored and to look down at this thing to see this creature following them, and then
Yeah.
he goes up to him and says, "Oh, there's something following us." And he goes,
Because
"It's
otherwise
Gollum."
Frodo would have killed him if they didn't have that conversation. And honestly, Frodo needs Gollum.
Dang, Lizzie,
So
love this.
that was like
This is a revolutionary podcast right now, not just on Harry Potter, but on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
So
Also,
it's the same
sneak
vein.
peek
Yeah.
of our our Lord of the Rings podcast coming soon.
The Fellowship.
Oh, the first time readers. And the 2 first time readers and the return of the first time readers.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. 27? Can we just open it up?
Hold on, wait. I have a few more questions on
Okay,
this one
fine.
because I just want to ask, what do you think that Dumbledore? Because he was in agony and he was like looking at this thing. What do you think he saw when he was drinking this potion?
I was thinking all of the Hogwarts students in mortal danger. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but he was saying something like, "Oh, like, don't take them," or like, not, I don't know. He said something about other people. And I was wondering if maybe he's seeing the students in danger. Or if this is kind of like a Dementory
Yeah,
type of thing.
because that would probably be his worst nightmare, the students encountering some kind of danger like that.
Yeah. But then he just starts begging to be killed. And I was like, I can't. This is so sad.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
It's tragic.
I know.
And Harry's like, "This will help. This will help."
Yeah.
And it just keeps just adding to it.
I know.
It's so bad. I don't have like a solid theory of what I think he's actually seeing. And I don't know if it's something that actually happened in the past or it's like an arbitrary, this is my worst nightmare situation. But
do this for me real quick. Up until this point, what do you know for a fact is a Horcrux that has been confirmed by Dumbledore? Like in the literal book, not just your guess.
Nagini,
Okay, so Dumbledore confirms that.
the locket, the
Yeah.
ring.
The ring.
I think he said it makes sense that he would do something from every house, but he didn't get to it.
Okay.
I'm still feeling like the sword was like
Okay.
in there. But I don't know. I feel like how could the sword be one? The sword of Gryffindor. But I think is it just those 3 that are confirmed?
I think so. I think the diary.
Oh yeah.
That's the only other
Because
one
they
maybe.
each took care of one.
Yeah.
Separately.
Is this supposed to rain?
And then he said Nagini, and then they're going after one. So 4 out of 6. Pretty good.
That's not bad.
He could probably do the last 2 by himself if Dumbledore doesn't come back.
That's 2. He's got more than 2.
3.
They've destroyed.
Well,
The
he has to
locket.
figure out. No, the locket's not
Sorry,
destroyed.
they've destroyed the diary and they've destroyed the ring.
Oh yeah.
So that would leave 5 more.
I feel like Nagini has to be pretty easy to kill.
What? Oh, he's hanging out with Voldemort. I feel like that's the hardest one to kill.
Just snipe him. Go find the
Yeah,
gun somewhere.
Honestly, like sometimes I feel like they, at this moment, maybe during Harry Potter's time in the early 90s, wizard kind could have taken down humans. But right now, I'm like, if wizards ever tried to storm humans, I'm like, humans would just, post up with their drones.
Yeah.
And just all right, there's a
Maybe
wizard
the
coming.
nonverbal
Geek.
spells would get to
Yeah,
us.
exactly. Yeah.
Just
What are
stand
they
in front of us.
doing?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of artillery
Yeah.
around.
I feel like we'd be all right.
you peeking out your little top window. I see you coming.
I got you. Pepper spray. Okay, so let's go to 27. And unless there's anything else in the cave.
Oh, the ending of that chapter.
Yeah.
We must discuss. Because that brought a tear to my eye when he
Yeah.
was like, I'm not worried, Harry.
I'm with
I'm
you.
with you.
Because that goes back to what Harry said.
And
I won't be
Dumbledore
worried.
said that to Harry, and then this whole thing just felt like him passing the baton to Harry. And then, like I said, he's like coming of age, like he's relying on Harry to do magic. And then he's like, I'm safe with you. And yeah, that was so sad. That's definitely like one of the best chapter endings.
Yeah, seriously.
It's beautiful.
It is not universally, but it's a lot of people. It's probably like one of their favorite chapters. But the ending of that chapter is just perfect
Yeah.
with that line. I'm not worried, Harry, said Dumbledore, his voice a little stronger despite the freezing water. I am with you.
I am with you.
It's so good. It's so freaking
And
good.
he really believes in Harry's magical abilities too.
Yeah.
More so than I do.
Yeah, seriously, more so than probably Harry does.
Yeah. Which I think is really crucial for Harry to have somebody like that.
Yeah.
Because
You
I
need
don't
someone to
know.
give you that confidence, absolutely.
yeah.
But up until this point, I'm even on every read, I'm never that impressed with Harry's magical ability.
Yeah.
He seems to be very ordinary. He seems to be pretty adept at defense against the dark arts because he's been in a lot of these situations before, but he doesn't know the spell work that I feel like Hermione does.
No, he could never get through that cave.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why Dumbledore giving him the confidence to do it is huge because
Yeah.
Harry, I don't know if Harry has the confidence to do it.
No.
That's a great point. All right, 27. The Lightning Struck Tower.
Oh, I just realized the chapter art is a dark mark.
Yeah,
I didn't even know what that looked like.
because there's a dark mark over the Lightning Struck Tower.
That is not what I thought it looked like.
What do you think it looked like?
I thought the snake was coming out as its tongue, and then you know how people clip their tongue so
Like a-
that they
like a
have
forked tongue?
Yeah, I thought the
Ugh.
snakes were gonna be like 2 tongues.
Ew,
like that
that's
way.
gross.
That's what I thought.
That's so gross.
Anyways, they come back.
Ew.
From the cave. Harry apparates both of them. Big
Yeah,
win.
which is
Super
crazy.
Cool. And
Again, that's like a bolt of confidence. Like Dumbledore has confidence in him and he's able to do these pretty advanced things.
yeah, you would think he was like, why don't you go get your extra apparition lessons? But he just let it slide. And Rosmerta comes running out and she's like, there's a dark mark over the school. And then they get up to the school and then the Death Eaters are fighting with the Order of the Phoenix people. And they all end up on the tower, and then Malfoy attempts to kill Dumbledore, and he can't do it. And then
Mhm.
Snape literally busts in the door and kills Dumbledore.
Boom, you're gone.
And then he goes
Crazy.
flying off the building, and that's the end of the chapter.
Crazy, right?
I read one more paragraph from the next one. I was like, I can't do it. And then I had to get rid of my book.
It's so good. So after a night, you can finish.
And Harry's frozen under the cloak the whole time too.
Which is my first question. Why did Dumbledore do that? So here's the whole paragraph. Harry hurried over to the door leading to the spiral staircase, but his hand had only just closed upon the iron ring of the door when he heard footsteps running on the other side. He looked around at Dumbledore, who gestured him to retreat. Harry backed away, drawing his wand as he did so. The door burst open and somebody erupted through it and shouted, "Expelliarmus!" Harry's body became instantly rigid and immobile, and he felt himself fall back against the tower wall, propped up like an unsteady statue. Unable to move or speak, he could not understand how it had happened. Expelliarmus was not a freezing charm. Then, by the light of the mark, he saw Dumbledore's wand flying in an arc over the edge of the ramparts and understood. Dumbledore had wordlessly immobilized Harry, and the second he had taken to perform the spell had cost him the chance of defending himself.
No.
Why did Dumbledore do that rather than just defend himself?
Because I think if the Death Eater saw Harry there, it would have just been like the end of the story. Like they would have taken him to Voldemort. Voldemort would have killed him.
But to a different point, Draco Malfoy is popping through the door. Dumbledore sees him coming, and he just says Expelliarmus before. He's a much more skilled wizard than Draco Malfoy. Wouldn't he just block Expelliarmus and then bind Draco?
That's actually so valid.
like you see
Malfoy comes in the door. Harry's under the cloak.
Yeah.
Dumbledore Expelliarmus's Draco.
Yep.
And then Harry could take him out and stay under the cloak.
Yep.
I don't know why. Dumbledore is his own man.
I guess because he's so super weak at this point. Maybe he knows the other Death Eaters are. This is like the explanation that usually people give. He knows the other Death Eaters are coming up. So
this is the answer to my question. Okay.
So he knows he maybe can't take all of them on himself. And so he just immobilizes Harry so that Harry doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Either way, the Death Eaters are going to come up the stairs and they're going to encounter Harry.
But what do you think about Draco actually being able to disarm Dumbledore?
I don't think it's that impressive if he
Really?
can't even stand.
Yeah, seriously.
Are you super strong if you can push over your grandma? Not really. You're just a bad person.
Yeah. That's a great point.
But I feel like Dumbledore always thinks that Harry's getting into things too fast. So I feel like he just froze him there to just be like, watch and listen.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if Dumbledore knew he was going to die or not. But then after that, I guess when you die, all your magic goes with you.
Yeah, because that's how Harry knew that. Time out.
He's dead then.
I think that's in the next chapter.
No, well, I read the next paragraph and he whips off the cloak and runs down the stairs. And then I had the self-control to stop.
I think in the next paragraph, the paragraph after that, Harry knows that he's gone because he feels the spell fall away.
Yeah. Well, that would be that paragraph because he's running.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he died for he was clinically dead for a minute and then the Phoenix. Because Phoenixes bring you back, right?
No. Phoenixes heal you. They don't bring you back from the dead.
I don't know.
The only thing that brings you back from the dead is a Horcrux. So the other thing that you were mentioning, Dumbledore could potentially have made a Horcrux somewhere. But would Dumbledore have made a Horcrux? Would he have deemed it necessary to make a Horcrux? He does think he's above the law.
I said that he would do that before I knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
So
it's a fascinating possibility.
I'll get to my other stages of grief eventually. We'll process
what
this.
Denial is the first one? What's the second one? There are some great lines in this chapter as well, like some of my favorite. When it says, Draco Malfoy did nothing but stare at Albus Dumbledore, who incredibly smiled. Draco, you are not a killer. How do you know? Said Malfoy once.
Yeah.
And then he goes, but why? I don't think you will kill me, Draco. Killing is not nearly as easy as the innocent believe. So tell me, while we wait for your friends, how did you smuggle them in here? It seems to have taken you a long time to work out how to do it. What do you think of how Draco actually got him in?
It's pretty genius.
Right?
He's really smart.
I know.
Scary smart.
I know. Legit.
I was not thinking that at all. And then I felt dumb because I was like, oh, I knew the Vanishing Cabinet was in there.
It mentions it a few times in this book too, so it goes right over your head.
I don't think we knew that the one in Borgin and Burgs was a Vanishing Cabinet, right?
No.
Yeah.
I don't. There's a conversation that happens in the movie that when they go raid the Malfoy house, Mr. Weasley comes back and says there was a Vanishing Cabinet and that was all. But I don't know if we actually have that in the book or not. I have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, so I didn't feel super bad that I didn't put it together because
Yeah.
I felt like that was way over my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't think that Dumbledore knew any of his plan either. Like, I think he was genuinely just like asking questions to try to understand. I don't think
Yeah.
he was like, oh, this is my plan to like prod information out of him. I think he was just genuinely buying time
Yeah.
and being confused.
Okay, so he's buying a little bit of time here, but then there's another line that they have where it says, I tried, Draco. Professor Snape had been keeping watch over you on my orders. He hasn't been doing your orders. He promised my mother. Of course, that is what he would tell you, Draco. But he's a double agent, you stupid old man. He isn't working for you. You just think he is. We must agree to differ on that, Draco. It so happens that I trust Professor Snape. Well, you're losing your grip then, sneered Malfoy. Does it hurt to hear these words now, knowing what Snape did? Or do you still just think Snape's good?
No, I'm confused. I don't even want to think either way. I just want to just close my eyes and just blindly trust that it's going to be okay. But
oh, man.
yes, it hurts because if Dumbledore trusts Snape that much that he's going to save his life and he literally comes in and kills him, like,
It's
how
brutal.
could you wrong Dumbledore that much?
Yeah, I know. That's like the most reprehensible, unforgivable thing that you could ever do. Someone trusts you that much and you come in and you kill them. That's awful.
Oh, what was this? I don't think this was in Harry Potter. There's some quote that I found somewhere and I don't even remember what it was, but it was like, betrayal hurts so much because it only comes from your friends or like something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's like kind of this.
Yeah, it is. Someone
But
that you trust, yeah.
I guess Dumbledore's not really getting betrayed because he just dies and can't think after that.
But
you
in
know?
that moment, that's got to be pretty terrible. You see him casting, holding the wand at you, and then all of a sudden you hear Avada Kedavra, and you're like, I mean, you have 1 second of like, dang, I got played, and then you're dead.
What if somebody else said it? Or what if
I
it's
don't
like,
know about that one, Lizzie.
what if you can like say it and not have your heart in it, and then
No, you have to.
somebody
Avada Kedavra?
somewhere- or maybe he has enough
Time out.
magic to
Let
like
me read you this line,
no
Lizzie.
no maybe Dumbledore has enough magic to like blast backwards, you know, and then
You're coming up with some wild stuff
and
here.
then Snape didn't have his heart in it and he said it and that was not real, and Dumbledore's just like hanging on to the side of the building.
Okay, we are going to read this line. We've got a problem, Snape, said the lumpy Amicus, whose eyes and wand were fixed alike upon Dumbledore. The boy doesn't seem able. But somebody else had spoken Snape's name quite softly. Severus. The sound frightened Harry beyond anything he had experienced all evening. For the first time, Dumbledore was pleading. Snape said nothing, but walked forward and pushed Malfoy roughly out of the way. The 3 Death Eaters fell back without a word. Even the werewolf seemed cowed. Snape gazed for a moment at Dumbledore, and there was revulsion and hatred etched in the harsh lines of his face. Severus, please. Snape raised his wand and pointed it directly at Dumbledore. Avada Kedavra. So, just to be fair, I feel like Snape is very much the one saying this here. He is very much saying it out of a lot of anger and revulsion that is etched into every line of his face.
I thought that was like hatred for himself for doing it to Dumbledore.
I love that you see the positive in people.
I don't know. I'm just in denial.
Interesting.
Denial is a
Yeah,
word.
denial's the first phase. This really is. Next podcast, we're going to be in the whatever morning phase. I don't know what's the next phase. What is this? The 5 phases
It's gonna be
of
anger, and I'm gonna like chuck my book out the window.
Yep. Honestly, it might be.
Stages of grief. Anger.
It is. Love this.
This is like not even this chapter, but why would Harry whip off his cloak the first thing he does? Like, keep that thing on whenever you go downstairs. Just saying.
That's not in Harry's character. Harry's character is
Is it?
I am going in guns a-blazing. I don't care what anybody thinks.
But have a little
That's not what Harry would do.
shield.
Nope. I mean, we're thinking logically like adults here, but Harry is not really. He's like a teen. He's still like a person that he loved so much got betrayed by someone he did not trust at all. That he was continually warning Dumbledore of, and Dumbledore didn't hear it.
That's true, because Harry has zero faith that Snape
Yes.
is on Dumbledore's side.
And so what Harry wants to do right now is he doesn't want to hide under this invisibility cloak. He wants to go in guns a-blazing and
So what,
show Snape that I am the one that's going to catch up to you and hurt
he's
you.
gonna kill Snape?
Yeah.
I still don't feel like Harry could kill anybody.
He wants to. At this moment, you don't think he could?
Snape would win. Snape
Okay.
would get to him first.
Yeah. We'll see.
I hate this book.
You love this book. Stop it. Do you think, one of the last questions in this, do you think that Draco is a redeemable character now? Because this is another brilliant line that we got here. Come over to the right side, Draco, and we can hide you more completely than you can possibly imagine. What's more, I can send members of the Order to your mother tonight and hide her likewise. Your father is safe at the moment in Azkaban. When the time comes, we can protect him too. Come over to the right side, Draco. You are not a killer. Malfoy stared at Dumbledore. But I got this far, didn't I? He said slowly. They thought I'd die in the attempt, but I'm here, and you're in my power. I'm the one with the wand. You're at my mercy. No, Draco, said Dumbledore quietly. It is my mercy and not yours that matters now. What does that mean, first of all? And is Draco redeemable?
I would say Draco is redeemable, but I feel like that's so unfair. Like second chances like that are kind of unfair.
Yeah. Wow.
That makes me a little mad.
Yeah.
Maybe this is my entrance into the second phase of processing grief, because I would be angry if Malfoy did get a second chance
Yeah.
because of what he's done.
Yeah.
But theoretically, I think he probably could come to the good side and just be like, oh, that was my childhood stupidity. I got brainwashed as a kid. I probably have some like trauma. And then he could redeem himself.
Yeah, he could all chalk it up to some childhood trauma that he was dealing with. Maybe.
But I don't know. I feel like maybe he should get a second chance.
I mean, this
I
is
don't
like, this
know.
book is all about second chances. Dumbledore is offering him a second chance here, and he doesn't take it. So maybe he's on his third chance, or fourth, or fifth, or sixth. But I do love Dumbledore's words here, where he says, "It's my mercy and not yours that matters now."
Yeah, what is that?
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's my mercy that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because he already gave him, like, Dumbledore said that he knew that Malfoy was up to something, right? And that he was a Death Eater. So is he just referencing that he didn't expose him and get him killed early on?
Could be. Yeah, that's a good explanation for that. Like, he knew he was all along, but he didn't really do anything. Let Draco do certain things. So for the whole year, Draco was living under the mercy of Albus Dumbledore.
But I don't know why he would say it's my mercy that matters now.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like that matters now. That mattered
He's
a little
dead
earlier.
Yep.
Too late.
A little too late.
So Rosmerta, sorry, this is like a
No, you're good.
whiplash segue. She's just been Imperious this entire time.
Yep.
I thought you would just get Imperious for like a moment, hand the package over, and then you go back to normal life.
You think that, but this is the first time we've seen it for a prolonged period of time.
So then somebody has to be doing that to her this whole time too.
Mm-hmm.
So who's that?
It was Draco.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He was the one who Imperious Rosmerta, and he did it once, and then he kind of just controlled her for the rest of the semester. He didn't do a great job.
Imperiousing someone isn't a full-time job.
It's probably somewhat a full-time job. It's not like you have to be like behind that person making them do what they want. I'm sure there's I don't know what goes into an Imperious curse. I think it's pretty wicked. I think it's honestly some of the worst. We're the worst of the three. That's my opinion. But
you know the Kiss, Marry, Kill game?
yeah,
I made my siblings play that with me, but we did it in the 3 Unforgivable Curses, and it was so funny.
it's actually legitimately brilliant.
Because there's like so many random people from childhood that we were using like old people that we knew. And my brother was like, wait, how long does like Crucio last? Because I don't want to torture her that long. We were on like a long drive together. I
That's
was
so
like, this
funny.
is so funny. Anyways.
So that's actually a fascinating question because ultimately I wouldn't want to Imperia someone that I love the most. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to kill them or torture them. So
Yeah.
it's maybe the tamest of them, but I still think that it has the potential to be the most evil. So that's actually a fascinating question.
Because
Oh,
he
that's
was
right.
asking, he was like, is Crucio like a long time? And I was like, I don't think it. I
It's
think
as
it's like
long as
as
you
long as
focus.
you need it to
Yeah.
be. And he's like, okay, because I couldn't torture her, but I could. I think if I killed her, that would be like nicer. Just like, boom.
Crucio Imperio Avada Kedavra.
It's
That's the new game.
crazy.
I'm gonna start that
You
game.
should try it out someday.
That's so funny.
Anyway, that was also a segue.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got in this chapter. Anything else that you have? Any other tidbits? Any other questions? Anything you want to get off your chest when you move into the anger stage of your grief right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess Harry's gonna run down the stairs and try to like fight Snape. I don't think he
Okay.
could kill Snape. I think Snape could kill Harry. Still have no idea if Snape is good or bad.
Okay.
I think all the Death Eaters are gonna leave because I feel like they're all kind of scaredy cats at the end of the day.
Okay.
The
Okay.
Order is gonna like have a little reconvening.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm really curious to see what happened to the DA people. That's like really at the forefront of my mind,
Yeah.
honestly.
Is someone dead?
Ooh. No, because
I love your optimism.
the Dark Mark Malfoy said it was a trick to get him to come to the castle.
Yeah.
So
A body that they walked
Just
over could just be a
saying.
trick for something else.
you could fall over for several reasons other than death.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
I don't know. Who was the body? Was it an adult body? It better not
mean,
be like McGonagall or something.
They're kind of all adults at this point. They're not like, it's not like a
Hopefully
first
it's
year where they're like,
Filch.
yeah, oh, that'd be great. That'd be the best.
I
Marcus
had
Filch dies.
this was my other thing was that I had zero clue that Malfoy was gonna try to kill Dumbledore. I don't think I ever said that once this entire
Yeah.
time, right?
No.
Because I said he was gonna try to like derail Hogwarts and close it,
Yeah.
and
His whole
certainly
main mission
killing
was-
Dumbledore would do that. But
Yep. His whole main mission was to kill Dumbledore. That was a task that he had been given.
now maybe McGonagall will be headmaster.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah. That's actually a fascinating question.
Because I
McGonagall.
said that when Umbridge
Yeah.
came in.
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me? Who is this?
But yeah, all the Draco's attempts were pretty poor attempts at doing this until he finally figured out the way, which he was working on the whole time, which is the Vanishing Cabinet.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen.
So
I'm
good guesses.
confused. I'm excited.
Do you like this book?
I do. Really good.
It's good, right?
Yeah, good chapters.
Yeah. It's a great freaking book.
Love it.
Do you have your 3 favorites?
I didn't do that.
Okay, we don't have to do it. I'll just
I'll just
sing a
say
little-
Ginny, Hot Tamale,
yeah,
House Cup, Harry. What's the other one?
favorite moment. Don't worry, Harry.
Yeah,
with you.
I am with you. That's good. That's my favorite moment.
Yeah, it's so good. I like that.
Boom. That was so fast.
Hot Tamale, I'm going Dumbledore though. He was very hot, very sassy. I like it. Devastating chapters. Anyway, thanks for joining us.
On our journey of Harry Potter. No, I'm not gonna do it. Anyways, thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter the second time reading.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God.